Today's video, we're going to talk about quality score factors. How to game Google Ads quality score to juice your profits from your Google Ads campaign every time. Okay, so quality score, you probably already know the basics behind it already. That is, it's some score or arbitrary score that Google assigns to your efforts or ability or performance as an advertiser on basically rank stacking you versus all the other people advertising on the same keywords as you. And they do this for every keyword that you want to advertise on. To understand though the inner workings of how this works, you'll understand a lot better how to optimize for a higher quality score, and then as a result of that, a lot easier to increase your profitability from your ads when you understand more in depth the insider's knowledge about this. And more so about how the campaign structure you pick, how that's going to decide how much you're going to make, how well it's going to play to getting you the highest possible quality score. Now, the main thing is with quality score, and quality score is predicated on, or with it being predicated on data and machine learning, Google's system is always trying to evaluate one advertiser versus another for a certain keyword. Should you show up or somebody else should show up is what their algorithm's always trying to decide based upon trying to give their users the best experience on Google possible, so people want to click on ads in the future, therefore making them more money in the future and overall, and as much as they can get, as much as they can make, and get people to come back to Google and use Google as a whole as well. So with that said, they give the quality score system to us as an advertiser to basically give us and get on the same page, and where they're saying, hey, this is what we want. We want to provide the best experience for users. Here's how to score yourself to know if you are giving our users the best experience, so that we can throw you a bone. And they give you the tools to get on their good side and also measure it. And it's all really up to you whether or not you actually go through the motions to beat your competition in terms of click-through rate, in terms of conversion rate, to get the high quality scores, which are going to lower your cost per click, increase the number of clicks you get, therefore market share, therefore click share, as well as the higher converting traffic on the keywords you have, because they sub-segment the traffic on each keyword based upon a bunch of different factors, namely how well that person's going to convert, and then wanting to give the person who's most likely to convert that comes through that keyword to the person who's doing the best job and has the highest quality scores, which is something a lot of people don't know about. They give the lowest quality, least likely to convert traffic to the person who just started out, because you're probably going to be in and out in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days anyway, because you want too much too quick and not willing to put in the effort, or don't know any better to put in more than 15 minutes of effort on their campaigns, initially setting them up. Just to give you some context, I'm going to spend 100 hours setting up an initial campaign between the campaign setup itself, keyword research, ad copywriting, landing page development, tracking, all of it. So with that said though, going back to the issue at hand that I was trying to get to, Google only knows what they don't know. That is, you're going to be treated like a second-class citizen by Google, because 90% of the people who start advertising on Google aren't there in 6 months because they expect too much and they put too little effort in, and basically speaking, they cannot compete with the other people that are advertising on the same keywords they want to advertise on. And Google can only show 4 ads at the top of Google, and there's probably 8 to 10 people who want in on those spots, and they're going to pick the people who provide the best experience and try to price the people who don't out of the market, maybe letting some new people come in and try, but doing the same thing with them. But even if you have the best ads, the best landing page possible, that is going to give the users the best experience, Google's algorithm doesn't know it until you've gotten a certain amount of minimum clicks per keyword. And that minimum number of clicks is going to be in the thousands of clicks. They'll know it kind of with a few hundred clicks, but they really don't know it till you got to thousands of clicks on each keyword. So based upon how you set up your campaigns, there's a pro and con that you have to consider here. That is, you can set up your campaigns really well for each keyword and for each user. Something that we know in the marketing space or advertising space is single keyword ad groups or SKAG setup. With that said, that SCAG setup is going to get you the best experience for that individual user searching for that individual keyword. With SCAG setup, if you don't know, it's where you set up a unique keyword, or excuse me, a unique ad and a unique landing page for that keyword so that they get the best experience possible. That will get you the highest click-through rates and the highest conversion rates every time, basically speaking. The downside of doing that, though, is based on what I was just saying, Google's system doesn't know how well you're doing until you've gotten a certain minimum amount of clicks. So with the single keyword ad groups, to really take advantage of it, instead of having 5 or 10 keywords, you really need to have a couple hundred keywords so you can target each variation of a way that people are searching that's profitable to you individually. So you can have laser targeted ads and laser targeted landing pages for each person, which will get you by far the best results. The results are really amazing what you can get with that setup, because nobody in your space is likely wanting to do it, and that's what the user wants to see. And therefore, it will make you the most money. However, the algorithm's now got to try to has to figure out that you have the best setup in your space for all your keywords on 200 different keywords now versus 5 to 10. So, whereas it'll get you by far the most results long term, short term, you would actually get more results with less keywords and not using a single keyword ad group setup, because it's going to take so long for the algorithm to figure out on 200 keywords what you got versus 5. So I'm going to drill into that. So you're going to ultimately have to decide how you want to set up your ads, less keywords versus more. More being you can get a better setup fundamentally, which will get you more results long term, but less short term. And then let you decide what direction you want to go. For me, I'm always going to try to do whatever's going to make me the most money long term, because it's literally going to make you 5 times as much money going with a single keyword ad group setup than it is with a 5-10 keyword setup with a single ad and a single landing page for all of the traffic, or even 10 times as much money. Short term, though, it doesn't make as much money, and it's going to burn a bunch of money before it gets to working. But once it catches, boom, man, does it catch. Going back to the kind of the topic at hand here, I wanted to lay some groundwork first, because I'm going to be talking about single keyword ad groups setups versus non. Given I always use single keyword ad groups, and I always advocate for using them because they make so much more money, despite what other people are saying. Quality score is still predicated on ad relevancy and then the landing page experience. Okay? And half of what your quality score is determined on is how good your ad is, in other words. Or in other words, the best way to judge that is click-through rate. Higher the click-through rate, the higher the quality score you're going to get. Google will say it's ad relevancy. Ad relevancy is made up of 2 things, though. How laser targeted is your ad and landing page based upon what the keyword is, because obviously the user wants what they typed in, and if you give them something that's close, your quality score just automatically isn't going to be as good. And then furthermore, can you write an ad, and can you ultimately get that ad user to click on your ad because of how well your ad is written? That's going to go into this ad relevancy part of your quality score. And then the landing page experience is what obviously happens when they get to the landing page, which is the other half of the quality score that you're going to get. So if you do everything right on the landing page, you're up to a 5 out of 10 quality score. And if you do everything right on the ad side, you're going to get a 10 out of 10 quality score. 5 plus 5 equals 10. Okay? Now, so I could cut this video out right here and just sum this up for you. That is, if you get a higher click-through rate and a higher conversion rate than the people that you're advertising next to for your same keywords that you see on Google now when you type in your keywords into Google, you will have 10 out of 10 quality scores. Because what quality score really is, they don't say this, they don't publish this anywhere. It's really you're being graded against all the other advertisers, so to say. Now, if there's only you advertising on a certain keyword, it's not guaranteed that you'll get a 10 quality score, but practically speaking, that's what it is, okay? All you're trying to do, and it'll take different amounts of efforts depending on what market you're in to get to a 10 quality score, because people are spending more money on their setups in terms of their ads, their landing page setups and all that, So it'll take more on your end to get to the 10 quality score as a result of that. You might have to hire an ad copywriting expert, a landing page expert, or you can just show up and do anything, and basically get a 10 out of 10 quality score. On the ad relevancy side, going back to that, the one half of the quality score that you get for each keyword, that in itself is broken down to expected click-through rate and real click-through rate. Expected click-through rate is the click-through rate that Google thinks you're going to get before they've actually had those few thousand clicks on your keyword to really know concretely what your click-through rate on your ad actually is. And then once you have that, then the expected click-through rate isn't even really paid attention to at all anymore, or basically at all. And then now it's just all about real click-through rate. So this expected click-through rate is what makes up half of your quality score. Until you've had those few thousand clicks, then it's the real quality click-through rate that matters. Okay, so it just shifts from one to the other at a certain point. If you take my advice, which I would go this way, if you want to make millions of dollars running ads for your business, you want a single keyword ad group setup so you can write custom ads for every variation of every keyword that you want to target and every customer you want. And then hand pick the best page on your site to send them to if you have an e-commerce site, or create a dedicated landing page for them on your e-commerce site, which people don't think they need to do that, and that will really rake in the bucks. And for sure, if you're using you're selling a service, you want a dedicated landing page to send them to, and ideally a dedicated landing page for every keyword itself, and probably even a dedicated landing page for every state, city that you're targeting, as well as every keyword that you're targeting, if you want to go the full way with this. Okay? So use that single keyword ad group setup, you'll probably make 5 to 10 times as much money than the average person without it. That said, okay, up front, if you set up the best click-through or the best campaign setup, single keyword ad group setup with one keyword per ad group, you don't have 5 or 10 keywords, you have 200 that covers all the variations of all the searches, and then custom ads and custom landing pages for all of it. You launch that. Despite how good it is, Google's not going to know it. They're going to think you're like the 90% of people that get there, show up, think you're going to get rich easy and quick, don't get what you want like a little child and stomp your feet and then run off. And so they're going to treat you like that. The fact that, though, you have a laser targeted ad for each keyword is going to get at least Google to think you're going to have a high click-through rate, going back to this expected CTR, because the keyword's in the ad. That's part of the expected CTR algorithm itself. It's a large part of it. So you'll initially get a nice bump because you use single keyword ad groups. However, because it's going to take forever for you to get 2,000 clicks on that individual search term that's like top roofing companies Dallas, that only 10 people are searching for a month altogether even, then it will be a long time before you get to a 10 quality score on that keyword, because it'll take so long to get all those clicks for Google's algorithm to know you've got high click-through rates that beats all your competition for that exact same term. So you're going to have this there's this middle time period in between the time you start and the time that you get those clicks that your quality score is never going to be ideal. So there's a drawback to using these single keyword ad groups short term, because you just don't have the data on the keyword yet for Google to give you that high quality score, which is the main drawback of having single keyword ad group setups. So you'll initially get a bump because the keyword that you're targeting is in the ad, but then your quality score is going to stay really low for a long time until you get at least a few hundred, if not a few thousand clicks on that keyword. Then your quality score is going to be like pegged at a 10 or close to a 10 at the very least, because you have higher click-through rate than all your competition for that same keyword. And I could confidently say this because it's just human nature. If you type in top, metal roofing companies Dallas, and you have an ad that shows up, and there's 4 ads to pick from, and one ad says top roofing company in Dallas, what the hell are you going to click on? By default, 3 times as many people are going to click on your ad as any other ad. And that's just how it is. So you can take the hit on the results short term to get the long-term results like I do. Or you could go with 5 or 10 keywords, have a well-written ad, but that's not really well optimized for any single person, but because it's a well-written ad, you get close to a 10 quality score as a result of that, and you get it quick because you only have 5 keywords to get a certain minimum data on, but you'll never get to fully to a 10 because it's not as good as still having an actual laser targeted ad for every keyword variation that you have. Okay? So the difference between a 7 quality score and a 10 can mean you pay 50% more per click forever. So you could whine and complain as, oh, Corey, single keyword ad groups don't make as much as my other campaign I have now, and it takes too long to work. And that's true, but I'm going to be paying 50% less per click for the next 10 years. And when you look at it and you look back over the next 10 years, you basically left $1 million of extra profit on the table because you wanted your profit so damn quick that you just couldn't have 6 months where you had unideal quality scores while Google was figuring out. So basically it's like the tortoise and the hare, if you will. My campaigns are always going to win. They're just not going to win as quick. As far as the landing page experience score here goes, that's made up of 2 components as well, which is what Google initially thinks your landing page experience is going to be, and then what it eventually actually is. Okay? And if you have single keyword ad group set up, the fact that you have the URL and the headline on the landing page, which is what I'm going to typically have on my dedicated landing pages that I use with my single keyword ad groups to make them work the best and get the full result out of them. I'm going to get an initial bump just from that because Google's going to think my landing page performs well because the landing page is about the keyword at hand. But like the ad relevancy, the ad relevancy part of the quality score algorithm, like I talked about before, it's going to take one hell of a long time to get enough clicks on that each individual keyword that I have, of the 200 keywords I have, for them to be able to ultimately see that the conversion rate I have is very, very high because the landing page is about the exact thing that they searched for, that I'm going to lose significant money over the other guy short term that just sets up a 5-10 keyword campaign with no single keyword ad group set up, what he's making in the first 6 months. So the first 6 months he beats the hell out of me, but at 6 months then we're about even. A year in I'm making a little bit more, and then I'm crushing it from years 1 to 10. So just know that long term you're going to get more results. Short term you're going to get more results, but between months, from day 1 to day, or we'll say day 7 to day 180 or day 365, you certainly can make significantly less while the algorithm picks up. You acquire enough data on all your keywords for the algorithm to actually know what you have there. So you can decide if you need, if you have only $5,000 and that $5,000 has to make money or else you're bankrupt. You're never going to be able to advertise another day again. You go with the 5-10 keyword setup because it has to work quick. You don't have the luxury of waiting for the algorithm to come around and realize what you got. If you're not, though, in that situation, you're making money, you have a business that makes at least $500,000 a year, it'd be silly not to set it up the right way that's going to make you 3 to 10 times as much money once the algorithm figures out what you got long term. Why would you just not want to do that? Just don't be so damn impatient. And therefore, don't also, as a part of that, don't be so damn cheap, because single keyword ad group is going to take a few $1,000 to get set up right, whereas you could set up your 5-10 keyword setup, non-single keyword ad group setup it takes 15 minutes of your time. But I'm going to make 10 times as much money than you're making, because I set it up right in the beginning and I waited for the algorithm to realize what I got and earned my spot on the top of Google. I'm going to be plastered at the top of Google and I'm going to love it because every single click I get, it's making me a fantastic return, and I'm just there, and I'm there, and I'm there, and I'm there for the next 10 years, and it's profitable as hell. So just wanted to point that out, and so you could go and get your return quick, but not get nearly as much long term, or you can do what I do. You want every dollar you can, and you'll wait a few months for it to be able to be really useful for you, despite having to invest more into it initially just to even get it going, so to say, in terms of just the initial setup and foundation that you need to do a single keyword ad group setup. And of course, just having a single keyword ad group setup isn't everything. You still got to know how to make a landing page. Go to my landing page portfolio on my site if you want to understand how those pages need to look. A good landing page will be so simple a 10-year-old can understand it, and it'll be eye candy. Basically speaking, you want to look at it and you won't want to look away because it looks so damn good and professional. But more so, it's about how do you lay the elements on the page out, and then knowing exactly what elements are most important and which ones should you say less about in order to get the super high conversion rate that'll beat all the other landing pages that you're competing against for your same keywords. And then ad copy wise, understanding same thing there. What are the 2-3 things that they want to know more than anything else, and then putting that into an ad and doing it in a clear way to get a higher click-through rate than anybody else. But just even if you were crappy at writing ads and crappy at making landing pages, a single keyword ad group would get you to be at least in the middle of the pack just by doing that. And then if you just know a moderate amount about ad writing, or hired somebody who knows a moderate amount and a moderate amount about landing pages, you'll be in that top 20% where 80% of the money's already made. For that matter, though, in terms of time put in and effort put in your business to be able to make more money, there isn't anything that's going to be, I promise you, more productive use of your time and your money than to get your Google Ads campaign set up really, really well. Because the results are going to be explosive once it actually is set up right and the algorithm has time to realize what you got, and it'll just keep working and working and working after that. Because these are just fundamental things that users want to see. They want what they type in. They don't want you to just shove down their throat what they kind of wanted. They want what they want. And the farther you deviate away from what they actually want, the less money you make. And that's just the way that it's set up. That's the way humans are. That's the way Google set it up. They wanted to set it up to push out people only partially trying. Price them out of the system. It's not a yellow page ad where you get your spot and you're done. It's everybody fighting it out, and the top 20% are making 80% of the money. So either try all the way, you try as if you have to beat everybody, or the government's going to come and behead you and your life's on the line, or you just don't waste your time with it. And with the amount of money it takes to actually beat everybody, it's not that, yes, it costs you a few grand to get set up right initially, but you're going to make $1 million over the next 10 years. It's literally nothing in the grand scheme of things. You just got to be willing to invest the money up front and not immediately get a return like so many people expect that try and fail with Google Ads. For the most part, though, I get why most people take the shortcut is they think, well, I could spend a little bit, and if it doesn't work, I'm out a little bit of money. But if I spend a lot and it doesn't work, I'm out a lot of money. Because they don't know that if I spend a lot, it's guaranteed to work really, really well. What I'm telling you is there's no situation where investing a little bit of money and getting a little bit of the return is smarter than investing all the money to be the top person in your space running the ads in terms of the click-through rate and conversion rate, because you're going to make so much money. If 10 years from now, you're going to look back and say, why did I even consider doing it partially? Because that's the reality. And I could show you many examples of that, of different campaigns that we ran and the amount of money that we've made setting it up with these single keyword ad groups, especially comparing what they had before and then after with the single keyword ad group setup applied to their Google Ads account and their business. But with that said, I'll wrap everything up with that. If you have any questions, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a question or comment on this channel, usually within 24 hours time. Beyond that, if you are looking for the source of information that's going to help you go on to make millions of dollars a year in profit for your business, running online ads for your business. This is the source of information that you want to subscribe to, as all the information on this channel is coming from myself that manages dozens and dozens of ad accounts on an ongoing basis, just developing the strategy for our clients at our advertising firm to understand and know how to tell you how to get results for your own campaigns. That's very unique and valuable, that is, because most of the people that you see online talking about how to run ads aren't actually running any ads, or they're running a campaign or two, which doesn't give you the enough kind of advice, real advice, on what universally works, what kind of works, and what situations that you actually need to make money. So you should subscribe, and you should subscribe to this channel right now as a result. The information on this channel, promise you, doesn't get any better quality than this that you can find. If you're serious about making money running ads. As a side, I also have a blog at guaranteeppc.com/blog where you can find step-by-step advice on how to set up specific strategies that we use to guarantee our clients' results at our agency. If you like the channel, you're also going to like my blog as well. If you are looking for somebody to just work on your campaigns, get your results on autopilot so you don't have to mess with it anymore, this is exactly what I do for clients at our firm. We don't work with just any client at our firm. However, if you want to see if we can work together, if you reach out to me at my firm, I'll give you an estimate of how much profit we can give you in addition to what you have now, and give you an actual guarantee tied to it. That is, our agency does not offer to work with the client unless we can get them a certain minimum increase in their profitability from their ads, and if in excess of what our fees are, and if we can't get it for you up front, there is no fee. We're the only agency out there that does anything like that in terms of a guarantee, which should tell you about the quality of the service we're actually providing here, as well as the information I'm providing you here on this channel, by the way. And if you want to see if we can work together, you should at least reach out, and I'll look over what you have. I don't charge anything for that analysis initially, and maybe there's something there. As a side, though, if you're not looking to work with an ad agency to do all the work for you, which some people don't want to do that. They want to do that themselves. They want to run their ads themselves. It's fine. However, if we worked in your niche market before, we can give you the exact ads, landing pages, campaign templates that work in your niche market and get the same results we've got built up over years with a one-time low fee just to get our access to our templates that we develop for it. And as long as you're in a different geographic area as our client or different country or whatnot, you can easily just use those templates and get the same results we are, which we can tell you the results we're getting before you bought the template itself. We got these templates, by the way, work so good. People are using them to start other businesses, whether that be lead selling businesses, whether they're starting e-commerce businesses to sell products that they can easily source and sell in a different country that our current client is in and never wants to be in. Never wants to be in the country that you want to operate in to sell that same product, which is like a business on training wheels, basically. If you want something that's almost basically guaranteed to work, starting with a template that we know sells an item in a country that you're not in, that to sell it in your country, that's about as easy as it gets. But with that said, anyway, if you're interested in any of those opportunities, you can reach out to me at guaranteeppc.com. But with that, I'll wrap everything up with that. Hopefully that made a lot of sense for you on today's video, and I'll see you on the next one. See you later.